Hey guys. How's it going? Just getting everything set up. I'm going to check how far we got the last time we played, because I actually don't remember. Were we talking with someone? Let's see. Oh, that's right. That's right. We talked to the girl. Sorry. We were talking with Hansei. I don't remember how far we got. Sentence we were okay, that's not like... Okay, well, I don't remember exactly how far we got to. Was whatever the last sentence we got to was. But we'll figure it out. What's up, Cheryl? Cameron. Hey, Cameron. Thanks again. Also, I know Cheryl also and Cameron for your donation yesterday. I'm still checking out to see what webcam I would get. What am I saying? Webcam. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. What tablet I would get. In the meantime, I'm going to keep using my current one until it no longer charges. But yeah, it's kind of iffy, so it might not... it might just suddenly not turn on. I'm just looking up some options for tablets I can get, because I don't really have too many options. It has to be a Windows tablet, because I have to be able to log into Chrome on it. And I know Androids, they don't let you... I don't know, maybe there's a problem with like logging into Chrome and like reading just the like going into your YouTube channel page, like the management page in Chrome. I'm not really sure if it works well on Android or not. If it does, then I could save money and get an Android tablet instead of getting a fancy Windows tablet like I had, and it would use less battery. It would turn on and off faster, simpler to use. Maybe that could be a good choice. Anyway, so last time we were going to talk with, I believe it was you, Hansei, right? Yeah. Okay, I don't remember how far we got. See who else is here. Arlie. Oh yeah, sorry, I'm just reading the chat still. Yeah, we meet again. Yeah, we were just talking like 20 so minutes ago.
무슨 생각해요?
Okay. So we talked with her.
뭔가 정보는 좀...
Okay. This was Nika's sentence from last time. Oh, okay. This was our new sentence. So that was the last sentence we got to. Nice. Just check here. Can't believe we're up to part 23. Yeah, I know. We've been playing forever now. Because we're also at... we've seen 3 crime scenes. I think there's one more crime scene that we have to get. But we still don't have enough trust with any of these girls. Anyway. Let me get my dictionary open. Oh, nay, now it works. So I found out there's an option to set which dictionary page it first brings you to. And now it does. It actually does it, because it would always take me to the really complicated, well, I shouldn't say complicated, the worthless page of dictionary. Whenever I first type something, it would give me like French and Spanish and Italian, and like, I don't need that. I just want the Korean. So I'd have to click to the Korean one. But I got it. I changed it. So now it'll actually show me what I want. So, 가령 한세희 씨와 제가 쫓는 실종 사건의 공통점이라던가. So let's just say that if the disappearing person's case that I and Hansei are going after, if it's a similarity, a common point about the case that we're both going after. So let's say perhaps if there's something similar that the case that I and Hansei are going after, well, that would be maybe something like... This is what I'm starting to say. So maybe there's some sort of similarity between the case that I'm going after and that she's going after. Wish I had Billy's ear for listening. Like I said, I was talking to Arlie about this also during our class, but like you just need to have better speaking in order to get better listening for stuff that's not clear. Because if you can't hear what someone says, no matter how much practice you have listening, like even if you can understand 100% of Korean, I shouldn't say that, even if you can translate 100% of something that's written down, and even if you can hear every sound they make, sometimes you just can't hear what they said because like the music will be too loud, or they'll say it like with an audience will clap while they're talking and you can't hear it. But like if you know what you would say in that situation, if you were that person, you can kind of guess what they might have said. So I was suggesting, you know, when you get to a higher level, when you start speaking Korean more regularly, like having regular conversations and stuff, that's when it'll start. That's when listening also will get a lot better. So you'll be able to listen because you know what they're saying. I should have said this. I didn't mention this early, but you'll be able to tell what they're going to say before they say it. And there was an example in one of the sentences that we did in the one-to-one class. At the very end, the guy's like, something like 출연하고 밤새고 고생하는 남자들이 많이 있는 데에 있어서 좀. And he didn't finish his sentence. He's like, well, because she's in this place with lots of guys that are directing and, you know, staying up really late through the nights and working really hard, it's kind of a bit. And he didn't finish the sentence, but you can guess what he was going to say. And then the other host guesses actually what he's going to say. So like you kind of know what someone's going to say even without them saying it, because you do a lot of speaking practice on your own. Anyway. Okay. 나는 거기까지 말하고 뭔가 의아함을 느꼈다. So that's as much as I said. So what I said to her was this previous statement right here. Oops. Like maybe there's some kind of similarity, maybe some sort of similarity between the case that you and I are going after. 나는 거기까지 말하고, that's all I said. And then I felt 뭔가 some sort of strangeness. I felt a bit strange. Oh, my voice is always, the weird thing is like my voice is always fine when I'm teaching. And then as soon as I like try to relax, it's like, hey, hi kids, come over here. Got some candy for you. Like that. Thinking about it, 한세이는 단순히 실종이라는 키워드 하나만으로 내가 쫓는 실종 사건에 관심을 가진 걸까? Thinking about it, maybe she got interested in 관심을 가지다. Maybe she got interested in the disappearing persons case that I am going after, just only with one keyword. 키워드 하나만으로. The keyword being disappearing. So disappearance. 단순히. Simply. So what it's saying, thinking about it, maybe Hansei simply got interested in the disappearing persons case that I'm going after just because of that one keyword, disappearance. What we're saying is maybe she's the demon girl. Maybe she's actually a demon. But the reason that she has this whole story about going after the father and all that is because she heard me mention first something about a disappearing persons case. And then she immediately took on that story. That way, you know, some sort of story for me to trust her. We don't know. Did Billy recommend getting language partner? I did not during the one-to-one we have. It wasn't a one-to-one about tips, though. I wasn't just giving her general tips. We were doing like translation explanations. I mean, of course, if we talked about tips, there are like, you know, dozens of tips that you can take. That's one, of course. Language partners as a way to practice, yeah. 혹시 나에게 아직 이야기하지 않은 공통점이 있다던가. Maybe there could be some sort of similarity I have with her that she hasn't yet said to me. 혹시, by chance, could there be some sort of similarity that we have that she hasn't told me yet? I'm not really sure what we're getting at here, though. I'm not sure what our character is thinking of that could be a similarity between me and her. Anyway.
공통점 말이죠.
You're talking about similarity, right?
안 그래도 그 얘기를 하려고 했는데.
Literally, even if you weren't going to say that, I was going to tell you about that. I was going to tell you about that anyway. So let's see, something in common. Like she's talking, when she says something in common, she's thinking about the cases. Our case. like maybe her case and my case. So she's like thinking about similarities. Well, I was going to ask you about that anyway, actually.
이거 좀 봐주시겠어요?
Would you take a look at this, please? Hey, Tubby. 뭡니까 그건? I think this is a typo. This isn't supposed to just be a question. A question mark. I think this would say oh or huh or maybe this question would be at the end and they copy pasted it wrong. But anyway, it's a typo. What is that? 나는 수첩을 받아들었다. I took the pocket notebook. 척 봐도 손때가 많이 묻어있는 꽤 많이 사용된 수첩이었다. So just with a quick glance, I could tell that it had a lot of 손때, hand mark, like hand oil, like hand marks on it, and it was a pocket journal, pocket like a small notebook that had been used quite a lot. No, Koreans don't use a question mark at the start of a sentence. No.
제가 이번 조사를 위해 작성한 사건 일지예요.
요거 also future tense. Itself, yeah, kind of, because it's intending to do, but it doesn't have to be future tense. No, the future tense comes from the verb that the conjugation of the verb that comes after 요거, actually. 요거 by itself, though, is not future tense, but it's often used in future tense situations. But you could also just as easily use it in a past tense situation. Like, I was going to. I was intending to. And in that case, it's not future tense anymore. 제가 이번 조사를 위해 작성한 사건 일지예요. This is a case journal, like a journal of the, whatever the case is, that I have made. Oops. Yeah. Or filled out, I guess. Filled out, 작성하다. But I have made for the purpose of this investigation. So this is a basically a diary, a journal of the cases that I filled out, that I made up for this case. Sorry, for this investigation. 사건 일지, a case log, like a case diary, case journal, that sort of thing.
네, 제가 조사한 모든 게 그 안에 있어요.
Yes, 모든 게, everything that I have investigated is inside of there. 한세이는 뭔가 굳게 결심한 얼굴이었다. 한세이 had some sort of strongly determined face. She had a very resolute face. She looked very resolute. 저번에 만났을 때 느꼈던 머뭇거리던 감정들은 사라져 있었다. Brother sent me audio? I don't know. Okay. Okay. 머뭇거리다. I know this one. I can't remember it. Oh, that's right. Hesitating. Okay. Dang it. Okay. We'll write that one down. Okay, so the emotions that she had, the hesitating emotions that I had felt last time we met were gone. So basically the emotions I'd felt from her for last time about her hesitating are now gone. So she's no longer being hesitant. My brother just sent me, what is he sending me? It says audio file and then a emoticon of a cat. Okay, he doesn't have a cat. I'll have to listen to that later. 겨우 믿어주시기로 하셨군요. So you've decided to now trust me.
네?
Yes? Well, actually, 네 here is what? 아, 내 말에 한세희 얼굴이 조금 붉어진다. Hansei's face got a little bit red at my words, literally at my words or at what I said. So her face got a bit red hearing what I said. 그동안 날 경계한 걸 내가 모를 거라 생각한 건가? Did she think that I wouldn't know the fact that she was kind of guarding herself from me so far, right? It keeps going back to the main page. Yeah. So did she think I didn't know that she was kind of like being defensive or guarding herself this whole time? 나는 속으로 혀를 차며 kind of like that. 한세희의 수첩을 펼쳐 들었다. And I opened up and opened through her, what's the word? Just opened up the pocket notebook. 한세희의 수첩에 적혀진 내용을 요약하면 이렇다. If I summarize the contents that were written in 한세희's pocket notebook, it is like this. It is so. So these are the contents summarized inside that were written inside of her notebook. 한세희 아버지 한경태 씨는 한세희's father, Mr. 한경태. 중학교 동창이었던 관상현 씨와 동업자로서 횟집을 운영하고 있었다. He was together with 관상현, who was in the same class as him in junior high school. 동업자, as a partnered business partner. What's the word? What's the word with a business that has two people? Not a sole proprietorship, but you know what I'm talking about. Dual proprietorship, two people owning a business. Co-owner. 횟집 is a sashimi place. They sell raw fish, and you just get like a big plate of sashimi, and it's different kinds. It's not like Japanese style. This is a Korean thing, and you'll eat that together often with sometimes with soy sauce, or my favorite is chogochujang, which is like kind of like a thick. It's like a thick, different version of gochujang. So it's like red pepper, extra spicy red pepper paste, kind of, but it's not pasty. It's like smooth. So you eat it together with that. Why am I talking about this? It's really good though. Anyway, so together, partnership with this guy who he was classmates in junior high school. 횟집을 운영하고 있었다. He was operating a sashimi restaurant with him. 8월 8일. So what's that? August 8th. 식당 정기 휴무를 하루 앞두고 그 둘 사이에서 다툼이 발생한다. 정기 휴무. So that's not operating for a while. Is that like a leave of what would that be called? Okay, thanks neighbor for no. Anyway, just taking a day off. So they delayed the day that they take off work at the restaurant for one day. So normally they would 정기 would be like scheduled. So this would be like a regular day that they're off. So they delayed that day by one day, and then they did that. And then what happened is 그 둘 사이, the relationship of those two, or literally between the two. So and then between the two of them, 다툼 is like an argument. 발생한다. So an argument occurs between the two of them after they take off. They push back one day, push back the day that they close by one day. Sorry, it's hard to translate this stuff, but that's what it means. 한경태 씨의 증언에 의하면, according to his verbal testimony, right? Kind of like what he said. Yeah. According to 현경태's testimony, 업무 관련한 가벼운 다툼이었다고 한다. He says it was just kind of a light argument related to business. It was kind of like a light argument about business. So nothing big. Like, yeah, I just had an argument. Nah, it wasn't much. It was just about business. So on the 9th, 식당 정기 휴무라서 because it's the day off of work, 한경 씨는 하루 종일 집에서 휴식을 취했다. 한경태 is 한경태 her father or is that the other guy? I think that's her father. Sorry. 한경태 the whole day at his house took a break. So he took the day off at his house for the whole day because it was the day off from work. Okay, on the 10th. 새벽 2시, 2 a.m. 잠들었던 한경태 씨는 전화벨 소리에 깨어났다. 한경태, who was asleep, woke up to the sound of the phone ringing. 전화를 건 것은 권상현 씨의 아내인 강수키 씨. The person who called was 권상현's wife, 강수키. 그 내용은 권상현 씨가 집에 들어오지 않았다는 것이었다. And the contents of that phone call, or what was said on the phone call was that 권상현 집에 들어오지 않았다. Didn't come home. You now know the months. Okay. We'll see if there's something. I don't know though. 친구의 실종을 확인한 한경태 씨는 이후 식당 일을 쉬면서까지 친구를 찾아다녔다. So the 한경태 who confirmed 한경태 씨 who confirmed the disappearance of his friend. After that, 식당 일을 쉬면서까지 while he was while he was not working. So it's not even the best way to translate. Stopped working at the restaurant while even stopping his work at the restaurant. So like he's looking for his friend, but also he now closes the restaurant to do it. 친구를 찾아다녔다. Went around looking for his friend while even just closing down his restaurant. I'll say that. So basically he kept it closed. Like shida means to relax, but if you shida something, it means you're not doing something. Like taking it off, taking off work. Let's say that. 하지만 결국 권상현 씨는 발견되지 않았고 이 사건은 실종 사건으로 처리되었다. But in the end, 권상현 was not discovered. 발견되지 않았고, and this case was 실종 사건, a missing persons case로 처리되었다. Was dealt with as a disappearing persons case. So, but in the end, he wasn't found, and this case ended up becoming dealt with as a missing persons case. 한 달 뒤 9월 11일. Okay, Cheryl. Take it, Cheryl. Take it. Here's your sentence. You gotta copy it quick. I'm gonna change my mind. You got 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Okay, good. Yeah, that's your sentence, Cheryl. 한경태 씨는 잠시 쉬었던 횟집을 재개했다. 한경태. So 1 month. Sorry, I don't want to almost translate it for you. Okay, anyway. Later, say that. 한경태 reopened the sushi restaurant that he had taken a break from, or that he had closed for a while. So he closed it for a while, but then he reopened it. This is just a Hanja word. 재 means to do something again. 개 means to open, so reopen. My goodness, this guy's silhouette really reminds me of the initiator guy. Wait, no, that's me. Is that me? Anyway, let's read it. 그 횟집의 단골이었던 한 뉴스 기자는 횟집이 문을 닫았던 이유를 물어보는 과정에서 권상형 씨의 실종을 알게 되었다. Who is this? I feel like we've seen this guy before. Anyway, 그 횟집의 단골이었던 한 뉴스 기자, one news reporter who was a 단골. 단골 is a regular customer of that sashimi restaurant. 횟집이 문을 닫았던 이유, the reason why the sashimi restaurant's doors had closed, 물어보는 과정에서, while through him asking the reason why the sashimi restaurant closed its doors, 권상형 씨의 실종을 알게 되었다. Came to know the disappearance of Kwon Sang-hyun. So, a news reporter who was a regular of the sashimi restaurant, through asking the reason why the sashimi restaurant's doors had closed, came to know of the disappearance of Kwon Sang-hyun. 그때까지만 spacing problem. It's not spaced. It's never spaced after 까지. So it should be 그때까지 as one word here. 해도 그 기자는 단골 집의 주인이 실종된 사건이라고만 여겼던 것 같다. At least until then. So this when the news reporter had first gone there and checked it out. At least until then, that reporter 실종된 사건이라고만 여겼던 것 같다. He only considered it as a disappearing case of the owner of the restaurant where he was a regular at. So up until then, the reporter had only considered it to just be that the owner of the sashimi restaurant that he was a regular at to have disappeared, and that's all. He didn't know anything else. That's all. He was just like, they just disappeared. I guess so. 9월 14일, so 14th. 그 기자는 평소 자주 이용하던 등산로에서 산책을 하다. While he was taking a walk at the hiking trail that he frequently used normally, that reporter 등산로에서 조금 떨어진 곳에 반짝이는 물체가 있음을 발견한다. He discovers something, an item, flickering or sparkling or shining, kind of away in a place that's kind of far, a little bit distance from the hiking trail. So while he was taking a hike on this hiking trail that he normally used regularly, the reporter discovered a item kind of flickering off somewhere a little bit far off from the hiking trail. Hey memes. 그냥 지나칠 수도 있을 정도로 눈에 띄지 않은 장소였지만 it was just a place that wouldn't really even catch your eye, and you would just be able, it wouldn't really be any sort of place that stands out. I'll say that. Literally, 지나칠 수도 있을 정도. Like, it's not so much that it would be remarkable. Like, it's not really any place that would catch your eye, but 오히려 그러한 장소이기에 기자는 호기심을 가지고 접근했다. Rather though because of that though, however, because it was just that kind of place, like nothing special, the reporter became interested and approached it. Cheryl, already done. Okay, nice. It's basically, it wasn't really any sort of peculiar place, but I guess because of that, the reporter was interested in it and went to it. 그곳엔 한경태 씨가 운영하는 횟집의 사시미 칼이 떨어져 있었고 칼날과 주변에는 혈흔이 뿌려져 있었다. My goodness. And in that place was a sashimi knife of the sashimi restaurant where Han Kyung-tae works, or Han Kyung-tae operates. So that the place that he manages. 형제 횟집, so brothers sashimi restaurant. Anyway, it was the knife there. 떨어져 있었고 was fallen on the ground. And 칼날과 주변에는, so and on the knife and 주변, in the area around it, 혈흔이 뿌려져 있었다, was basically blood splatter. Blood was splattered about. Literally, blood was sprinkled. Got this little spray bottle. But anyway. My goodness. 이때부터 사건의 흐름이 급변하기 시작했다. And from that time, the case started moving much more quickly. Literally, the flow of the case started to rapidly change. 기자는 이 사건이 단순 실종이 아니라 판단. The reporter judges that this is not just a simple 단순 실종, simple disappearance. So the reporter determines that this is not just a simple disappearing, simple missing persons case. 경찰에 신고했다 and reported it to the police. 식칼 검식 결과. 식칼, that's the kitchen knife. 검식 결과. Knife, hold on, I gotta look. Results of the knife. Oops, wrong word. 검식. Coroner. Ah, okay. I think this is coroner. Okay, it's some sort of word that means inspecting, but I can't find it in Neighbor. But anyway, just the results of the examination of the kitchen knife. Were, oh, just put ... Okay. 식칼의 주인은 한경태 씨. The owner of the knife was 한경태. And 혈흔의 주인은 실종된 권상형 씨였다. And that the what do you call it? The blood stains, owner of the blood was the missing 권상현. Yeah, literally 식칼, food knife. 식 would be Hanja word and kal is a Korean word. A Korean word, pure Korean. 그리고 식칼에선 두 사람의 지문을 제외한 다른 지문은 발견되지 않았다. And then on the kitchen knife was not discovered a different fingerprint except including the two people's fingerprints. This is literal, but that's not what it means. Basically, and on the knife, except for the two people's fingerprints, 다른 지문은, any other fingerprints were not discovered. So the only fingerprints they found on the kitchen knife were those two people, is what it means. And after that, 그 이후. Maybe this should have been Cheryl's sentence. Anyway, 사건을 신고한 기자는 한경태 씨와 권상형 씨가 실종 전날 다투었단 증언을 바탕으로 이 사건을 집중 취재하기 시작했다. And then the reporter who reported this case the day before the let me read this. The testimony that they had argued or they had fought the day before the disappearance of Kwon Sang-hyung making that the background, so making that the base, 이 사건을 집중 취재하기 시작했다. He started to focus on reporting this case. So basically, the reporter then, after basing, let me say this again. So then the reporter who had reported this case started focusing on a report of this case around the background of, around the concept of the testimony that they had argued the day before Kwon Sang-hyung went missing. 다른 단어, that means 단어 doesn't mean word. 단어 means vocabulary. So 다른 단어에 is in another or to another vocabulary word. 다른 말로. 다른 말로는 literally using other words. 다른 말로. 기자는 한경태 씨의 행적에 집중했다. I believe that's whereabouts. Yeah, whereabouts, that works. Literally trail, like about him. Okay, we can look that up. So he focused on his whereabouts, or even more, he focused on his track record. You know, like his profile, everything about him. 한경태 씨는 사건 당일 이렇다 할 알리바이가 없었으며, 한경태 did not have 없었으며 an alibi who would say this happened, or it's like this on the day of the case. So on the day of the event. So 한경태 didn't really have an alibi for the day of this whole case who would say anything. And on top of it, 심지어 과거에도 범죄 경력이 있음을 알아냈다. And the reporter found out that on top of it, that in the past he has a record of a criminal record. 한경태 씨는 과거 살인으로 복역했던 전과가 있었던 것이다. He had a past, what's that? Not conviction. Criminal record, right? 과거 살인으로 복역했던 전과가 있었던 것이다. He had a previous criminal record of having served for murder in the past? What? Is that? Yes? Well then, dude, he's the murderer. Sorry, Hansei, but like, dude. I mean, I'm just kind of joking, but like, I was thinking like this is like some super nice ajoshi. Like, no, he like killed a person. 기자는 이 사건을 대대적으로 보도했고, he generally reported, he kind of reported on this case generally, just kind of basically. 여론을 들끓었으며, 여론 is like I think it's like a theory kind of thing. Let me check. 여러는 okay, I think that's what. I don't know that word. Ah, okay. Ah, okay, I get it. Is this could be used as a phrase, kind of like there was controversy about it, so it caused controversy. I don't know why it would cause controversy. Like literally, murderer may have murdered another person. 단순 실종 사건으로 사건을 마무리했던 경찰도 부랴부랴 살인 사건으로 수사 방향을 전환한다. 부랴부랴. Oh yeah, hurrying something. Okay. Let's just check here. Yeah. Okay. So and then basically the police who had already finished the case, who had already completed the case just as a missing persons case, rapidly changed gears toward the direction of an investigation of it being a murder case, if that makes sense. So after he makes the article, let's write down Puja. Because the guy wrote the article, so the police had previously just put it up as like, oh, this is just a missing persons case. But then now with this new information, they're like, oh, let's quickly just say this is now a murder investigation. 기자는 이 뒤에도 바쁘게 후속 보도를 낸다. 후속. I don't know that. Oh, okay, follow-up. Interesting. And then the reporter after this as well quickly put out a follow-up report. 하지만 그 보도들은 용의자 한경태 씨에 대한 무분별한 의혹과 자극적인 내용들로 점철되어 있었다. 점철. I don't know that. Oh. Connected. To be dotted with. Okay. So, but the reports just had some sort of it was dotted just with information. Could be, yeah, provocative. Okay, I was like 자극적 is like bothering, something like that. Provocative. It just had kind of provocative contents in the reports, and it had unsubstantiated doubts, right? No. 분별, sorry. Irrational doubts and kind of provocative contents that were about Han Kyung-tae, the suspect. So it wasn't really a good report. 점철. 있었다. It's a lot to write down the whole sentences, but it really does help. Because I don't have to study the word if I write down the whole sentence, which really helps. Otherwise I would have to. 결국 여론을 한경태 씨를 사실상 범인으로 만들어 버렸고, in the end, due to public opinion, he ended up making 한경태 as an actual criminal. So like he made him into a criminal. And 한경태 씨는 피해자로서 구치소에 구금되고 만다. And then 한경태 ended up getting incarcerated at the penitentiary, what's the word, jail, basically, as the person who did it. What's the word? Yeah, criminal suspect. That's right. 구치소 is, yeah, detention center. Sorry, I'm giving you guys bad translation. Anyway, yeah, got detained. That's the word I want. Just check here for a second. 구치소. Okay. That was annoying. I think every single thing, except for one sentence. We got 9 sentences just from that little flashback, because it's all like this legal language. Yeah, okay. 나는 복잡한 심정이 되었다. I kind of felt complicated emotions. Complicated yeah. I kind of felt complicated. Like if I felt that things were complicated. Sure, we'll say that. 한세의 아버지, her father, 한경태 씨에게 다친 일도 일이지만, of course, what happened to 한경태 is oh, sorry. I thought it would keep talking. Maybe let's translate after here. 사건에 대한 얘기가 너무 익숙했기 때문이었다. 닥치다. Yeah, that should be occurred. Yeah, okay. So basically, for Hansei's father, and of course what happened to him happened, but more than anything, talking about this case was so familiar. It's because it was just so familiar to me talking about this kind of case, though. I kind of get these really, like, complicated emotions because, I mean, of course it's her father, and whatever happened to 한경태 happened, that really happened to him. But more than anything, it's kind of like I just feel like too used to this sort of story. Maybe we're gonna explain why we feel used to that sort of thing.
제법 유명한 사건이었어요. 들어보셨겠죠. 아마.
It was quite a famous case. You probably have heard of it, maybe. I can tell this game uses formal sounding Korean because they conjugate 되다 as 돼요. Yeah, that would be, it's common for written form also. Not only formal, but yeah, written and formal. 한세이가 씁쓸한 목소리로 말했다. She kind of spoke a little bit like how she just spoke, kind of like saddened-ish. Yeah. Bitter. A bit is a bit better way translating it. Oops. Okay, that was 10. 한세의 말대로 이건 상당히 유명한 사건이다. As she said, this was a very famous case. Oh, this? I think it's just a broken glass on a door. 관계자들의 이름이나 자세한 내막은 잘 알려지지 않았지만 the people's names that were involved, as well as like detailed information, wasn't really conveyed to the public. It wasn't really known, the names of the people involved or like any details about the case. But 과거 살인범으로 복역했던 사람이 또 다시 살인을 저질렀다는 사건의 특수성 때문에 단기간이지만 꽤나 주목받았었다. The fact that this was in the past 살인범으로 복역했던 사람, a person who had been who had served a sentence for being a murderer, had once again committed murder. This case where he had once again committed murder, a person who had previously been sentenced as a murderer, the because of this special point of the case having been a person who committing murder, you know, it's so hard to translate because like you have to go back the entire way for every single sentence. Anyway, because of this particular trait of the case where a person committed murder again after a person who had already served a sentence as a murderer in the past, because of all that, 단기간이지만 꽤나 주목받았었다. Even though it was just a really short time that it went on, it was very oh my gosh, stop. Yeah, it was well watched. It was really widely observed despite that fact. I'm just gonna conjugate the last part of the sentence. Don't want to write this whole thing. 주목. Okay. Oops. Maybe this would be a good Nika sentence just because it's so long. Yeah, let's give this to Nika because it's just such a long sentence that maybe it'll be fun for him to translate. I mean, in Korean, it's actually not hard in Korean. 과거 살인범으로 복역했던 사람이 또다시 살인을 저질렀다는 사건의 특수성 때문에 단기간이지만 꽤나 주목받았었다. It's actually, it's fine in Korean. It's like, it flows in Korean. Like, oh yes, of course. But in Korean, when you translate it, it's all like backwards. Okay. Did you actually put that as a Nika sentence? 그리고 내가 존경하며 날 수렁에서 끌어올려준 오만호 기자가 취재를 주도한 사건이기도 했다. And it was also a case that that the reporter 오만호, who had brought me out of my 수렁. Yeah, out of the pit. Who had brought me out of the pit and who I respect, because, you know, this was the guy he talks about how he respects. It was the case that he was reporting on. He was taking care of. All right, thanks. Let's get 수렁 is a pit. 존경하며 날 수렁. So it was that guy who was taking care of the case. Because, like, I knew I recognized that figure. Yeah, this guy. I was like, that's either me or that was someone else we saw once. So that's right. That was the other guy we saw. 만호 씨, 소식 들었어요. Hey, I've heard the news. 만호. 저번에 취재한다는 그거 대박이라면서요. So this is a memory. Like, hey, I heard the news. That report you did last time, it's really taken off. Really was 대박. Was really good. Like, really popular and everything. 지금 실검 1위던데요? Right now it's like number 1 in the... I'm pretty sure that does not mean yarn inspector. Yeah. Okay, 실검. Right, 검사. Yeah, number 1 ranked. Number 1 yarn inspector. Okay. 와, 이거 한턱 사야 하는 거 아닙니까? Hey man, I should probably I should treat you for this. Shouldn't someone or shouldn't I buy you dinner or buy you a meal for this? 한턱 쏘다 is like a slang for buying someone a meal. 내 호들갑에도 오만호 기자는 예의 그 무표정으로 응수했었다. 호들갑, right? Oops. He responded, 응수했었다. He responded, 무표정, literally 무 없다, 표정, so no expression. So he responded expressionless to my remarks that I'm just saying, like, hey, it's awesome. You should take you out to a meal once, you know. 호들갑에도 지금부터가 시작 아니겠습니까? Doesn't everything start from now? Isn't this just the beginning? 부러웠다. I was jealous of him. I was jealous. 역시 오만호 기자라는 생각을 하면서도 of course, even while thinking about 오만호, the reporter, 내가 존경하던 사람이 한 방 터뜨린 것에 대해 축하해줘야 한다고 생각하면서도 even while thinking I need to congratulate him for getting getting a hit, being successful. Let's check that. But yeah, that's what it means. I can't find it. Anyway, the person who I respected getting a good scoop, even while thinking that I needed to congratulate the person who I respected for having gotten a really good scoop, 만약 내가 그 자리에 있었다면, if I were in that position myself, well then 내가 그 횟집의 단골이었다면, if I was a regular at that sashimi place, well, 내가 저 사건을 취재했더라면, and if I had reported on that case, this is such a long sentence. Well, 이라는 생각이 자꾸 올랐었다. I kept getting that kind of, I kept thinking about, well, what if, and what if I had been the person who had reported on that case. So yeah, if I were in a spot if I was in his place, I guess I would have kept thinking about that type of stuff. 그래, 나는 오만호 기자가 부러웠다. Yeah, I was really jealous of him. 한세의 아버지를 벼랑으로 몬 오만호 기자의 저 보도를 부러워했다. 벼랑. 벼랑 위에 포뇨. Ponyo on the cliff. Yes, that's the word I was looking for. Precipice. Yes, precipice. Well, then this would be... Let's see if this is the right word. 오만호 reporter, so reporter 오만호, who was at the I don't quite get this expression still. I get that 벼랑 now. Could be 모다. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay. 몰다 for driving. Okay. To bring to the brink of something. That makes sense. Okay. So even Oamo, who had brought her father to the edge of the cliff, like he'd brought him to the brink of ruin, even him, I was jealous of his report. That's what I'm saying. Like the report is what kind of drove her father to the edge. If that makes sense. It's just interesting, they do use the same thing in English. We also say drive to the edge, and in Korean they also use 몰다, which is for driving a car. It's kind of funny. 한세희 씨는 그러니까 아버지의 무죄를 믿는 거죠. So basically you believe in your father's innocence. literally 무 없다, 죄, sin. So no sin, innocence.
가족이기 때문에 덮어놓고 믿냐고 말하고 싶은 거라면 그만둬요.
If you're going to say, if you want to say, or if you're going to say, do you just believe whatever because it's your family, then stop. Like if you're just going to say like, do you just believe in him because he's your family member? Well, then just stop. But that's probably why she believes in him, really. I mean, why else would you? Anyone can have doubts, right? If someone did something or not, of course. Like you want evidence, right? But the reason she's really interested in this case is, of course, because it's her father.
난 아버지의 알리바이를 믿을 수밖에 없어요.
All I can do is believe. I can't not believe Dad's alibi. So I just have to believe in Dad's alibi, basically. That's the only thing that makes sense is believing Dad's alibi.
같이 있었으니까.
Because I was together with him. I guess the alibi. 나는 입을 다물어 버렸다. I shut my mouth. 오만호 기자에 대한 존경심을 지키고 싶고 I want to keep my my respect for 오만호 and 그의 특종을 불허한 과거를 변호하고 싶었다. 변호하다, I guess that's like I keep clicking. This app is so poorly designed. Yeah, defend. Okay. And I wanted to defend the past of me. I wanted to defend my past of having been jealous of the scoop. So I wanted to protect my respect for 오만호 as well as the past where I was jealous of his case, of his scoop. It's like I didn't want to say anything else. I just wanted to protect that feeling of respect I had for him and that sort of jealousy that I had for his scoop that he got. Like father, like daughter. Yes. 하지만 한세의 확신은 내 생각 이상으로 단단했다. But 한세희's conviction was more strong than I had thought. So her convictions were stronger than I thought.
권상현 아저씨가 실종되던 그날.
That day, when 권상현 had disappeared,
전 모처럼 아버지와 함께 집에만 있었어요.
I was, as usual, I think. Let's check this. Yeah. Oh, I see. Okay. I was mistranslating that in English. I was thinking 오랫동안, for a long time. And then I don't know why I said as usual. I think I was thinking because of 처럼 got me confused. Anyway, so I was only at home together with my father after having not been there for a long time. So after a long time, what am I trying to say? It had been a long time since I'd been together with my father, but I was together with him only at the house that day.
아버지는 집에 계실 땐 거의 주무시기만 하세요.
When my father is at home, he's almost always only sleeping. Probably because, he works at the restaurant, so when he comes home, he just sleeps.
가끔 깨서 물을 드시거나 식사를 하시는 것 정도죠.
It's pretty much just like what he does is sometimes if he wakes up, he drinks water or eats a meal. That's about it. 그 정도. Just about that much.
하지만 오히려 그게 문제가 됐어요.
But actually that's what was a problem.
집에서 뭘 했는지 하다못해 TV를 봤다면 어떤 내용이 기억나는지 대답하질 못하셨고.
Because of that, that's a problem. Because when he doesn't know, he couldn't reply what he did at home. And then he also, if he watched the TV, he also wouldn't be able to remember what he even saw. So that's a problem. Since when he's at the house, he's only just sleeping, or maybe he'll drink some water, or he'll, eat something. But because of that, that's actually a problem, because he wasn't able to answer 집에서 뭘 했는지, what he did at home, or even TV를 봤다면, if he watched the TV, 어떤 내용이 기억나는지, he doesn't even remember. He can't even remember what it was on TV.
정리하자면 아버지가 집에 있었다는 걸 증명할 수 있는 건 저의 일방적인 증언뿐이었다는 거죠.
So basically, if we summarize here, the only evidence, the only thing that I can prove that Dad was at home is my regular verbal testimony, and that's it. So all I have to prove, basically, so what I'm saying is that the only thing I have to prove is that he was at home is my own verbal testimony. So basically, she was an alibi. Maybe she was the alibi. 한세희는 한경태 씨의 딸, 즉 가족이다. 한세희 is 한경태's daughter. That is to say, family. 물론 가족의 증언이라고 해서 전부 무시되는 건 아니지만 그 주장에 명확한 근거와 합리성이 있어야 한다고 알고 있다. I would give this sentence to all you guys if the second part wasn't as difficult as they made it. The first part is kind of okay. Anyway, of course, it's not that they just ignore everything if it's a family's testimony, but basically it has to have some sort of 합리성, some sort of like believability kind of thing. Reasonability. That's the word I want. There has to be some sort of reasonability and cause that's certain in that case. I know that it has to have some sort of reasonable reason. Like, yeah, even though it's family, it doesn't mean a family's word gets ignored or anything outright, but there has to be some sort of logical reason. Basically, because she's a family member, they're not going to really take her word seriously, because she can just say whatever she wants. 한세희는 그것을 증명해내지 못한 모양이다. It appears that she's not able to prove that. 그럼 세희 씨는 아버지의 무죄를 믿었. So then you believed your father's innocence. Wait. 알고 있었군. You knew that your father was innocent.
그래서 권상현 아저씨의 실종 사건을 파헤치기 시작한 거죠.
So that's the reason why I started looking into the disappearing case of 권상현.
애초에 살해당하신 게 아니라면 아버지는 자연스레 무죄가 되니까.
If he wasn't murdered in the first place, well then my father's innocence will be my father will be naturally innocent. Right? If he wasn't murdered in the first place, right? If he's just missing, then my father's innocence can be that'll make my father's innocence with that.
주변 조사를 먼저 시작했어요.
I started already looking around, investigating the area.
평소 권상현 아저씨의 행적, 행동 패턴, 특이점 등을 중점으로 조사했죠.
I've investigated, focused on his particular things particular to him, including his movement pattern as well as his history, his record, his trail. Yeah, his trail. So the trail he took that he normally would take. So I kind of like followed where he goes, his movement patterns, any sort of traits about him. I've already investigated that.
그러다 보니 주목할 만한 정황들을 발견했고 여기까지 오게 된 거예요.
정황, I don't know that. Oh, yeah, I do. Circumstances. Okay. And I discovered the circumstances for that I could see him? Oh, no. Okay. Of course. Yeah. I found circumstances worth looking over, and I discovered some circumstances that would be worth looking over, and I ended up coming here. Let's write that down. Okay, we're just gonna go a couple more minutes. 그 정황이라는 건, and those circumstances were.
다음 장 넘겨보세요.
Flip to the next page. 나는 오만호 기자에 대한 생각을 잠시 접기로 했다. I decided to stop thinking about the reporter Oman for a moment. 오만호. 지금 내게 닥친 일부로 해결하자고 결심한 나는. So me, I've decided now to take care of the job that's now laid before me, and 수첩의 다음 장을 넘겨봤다. And I flipped over to the next page of the notebook. 체계적으로 정리되어 있는 앞 사건 일지와는 달리, different from the case journal that was organized in front. 체계적으로. Systematically. Okay, I'm not upset at myself for not knowing this word. So different from the case journal, which was in front of this, the first case journal, which was organized systematically. Different from that, 여기부턴, from here, 휘갈긴 듯한 메모들이 어지럽게 늘어져 있었다. There were just some sort of like scribbled notes that were just kind of messily sprawled about. And I'll finish this sentence. Okay.
보기 어렵죠? 설명드리자면
It's hard to look at, right? If I'm going to explain it to you, well, to explain it, basically, 사라지기 일주일 전부터 흰색 옷을 고집했고, maybe I can give you guys this sentence. Hold on. Maybe not. So from 1 week before he had disappeared, he had been wearing some white clothes. 하지만 내 입장에선 전혀 어려운 내용들이 아니었다. Okay, this is all your sentence for today. I was trying to keep going until I could find a sentence that I can give to you guys. But most of them were either like too simple or a little bit too hard, or they would have a word in there that I don't think you guys really need to know so far. So, okay, this is everyone's sentence for today. And this is also as far as we're going. So we got 18 sentences today. Not bad. Yeah. 18 sentences. Thanks, Cheryl. All right. So everyone, now I gotta go get my kid to bed. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys again in a couple more days. See you guys. Make sure to do your sentences.